Hello and welcome. Today, we are about to pull back the curtain on a white grape you've probably never heard of, but one that's quietly captivating the wine world with its complexity and elegance. So get ready to meet Roussanne.
So, be honest, have you heard of it? If not, you are in for a real treat. And if you have, stick around because we're going to dig into what makes this grape so incredibly special. Let's get into it. At its heart, Roussanne really boils down to two things: an incredible versatility and an undeniable elegance. You could say these are the twin pillars of its identity, and we're going to see them in action all the way from the vineyard to the glass.
Okay, so let's start by getting to know the character of Roussanne, a grape with a rich history and a very distinct personality.
The name itself actually gives us a little clue. Roussanne comes from the French word roux, which means russet or reddish, and it perfectly describes that beautiful, coppery gold color the berries get when they're perfectly ripe. But beyond its looks, it's famous for making deeply complex white wines that, unlike a lot of whites, can actually age beautifully.
So, where did this grape even come from? Its story begins centuries ago in France. But you know what? Its global journey is really just getting started.
As you can see here, Roussanne has some deep roots in France's Rhône Valley, going all the way back to the 1600s. For hundreds of years, it was kind of a local secret, but in the last few decades, winemakers all over the world caught on to its potential, and it started this global tour, finding new homes and new expressions far from its French homeland.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because Roussanne acts like a total chameleon. In its home turf in the Rhône, it's all about elegance and minerality, but take it to sunny California, and it gets richer, more full-bodied. In Australia, it's often fresh and vibrant, while in South Africa, it develops this wonderful complexity. It's the same grape, but the place, what winos call terroir, completely shapes its identity.
Now that we know where it grows, let's look at what it takes to get it from the vine into your glass. This is where the artistry and the challenges really come into play.
Roussanne is not an easy grape to grow, not by a long shot. As we see under challenges, it's prone to diseases and it ripens unevenly, which demands constant attention from the grower. But here's the crucial payoff. Under result, that very same struggle leads to these small, thick-skinned berries that are just incredibly concentrated with flavor and aroma. So the key takeaway is that the difficulty in the vineyard is precisely what makes the reward in the glass so great.
In the winery, the winemaker faces some pretty critical decisions. Do you ferment in stainless steel for a fresh, crisp style, or use oak barrels to add layers of complexity like vanilla and spice? Many will also age it surly, that's on its leftover yeast cells, which is the secret to giving the wine its signature creamy texture and those delicious brioche notes.
And this just brilliantly shows off its versatility. I mean, Roussanne can do it all. It makes phenomenal dry white wines, but it can also be made into rich dessert wines, zesty sparkling wines, and it's a key player in the famous white blends of the Rhône Valley, often partnered up with Marsanne and Viognier.
Okay, we know where it's from, we know how it's made, but the most important question is, what does it actually taste like? Let's dive into the sensory experience.
The sources describe it perfectly. Drinking Roussanne isn't just a taste, it's an experience, a true symphony for the senses that evolves over time.
When the wine is young, your nose is greeted by this beautiful bouquet of white flowers, like honeysuckle and fresh fruits like peach and apricot. But give it a few years in the bottle, and it completely transforms. Those fresh notes evolve into rich, complex aromas of honey, toasted almonds, beeswax, and a distinct mineral scent, often described as gunflint.
And the texture is where Roussanne really shines. It has this rich, almost oily feel in your mouth. And by that I mean a weight and a viscosity that is incredibly unique for a white wine. It's full-bodied, but a vibrant acidity cuts through that richness, keeping it balanced and fresh. The finish is long, often with this subtle, pleasant bitterness, a bit like an herbal tea, that just makes you want to take another sip.
So, what do you eat with it? Well, its richness and acidity make it a fantastic food wine. It's brilliant with something like roast chicken or pork loin. It stands up beautifully to a creamy seafood pasta or even spiced Asian dishes like a mild curry. For a cheese board, try it with a creamy brie or a fresh goat cheese.
To finish up, let's look ahead. Roussanne has come a long way from its niche origins, but what does the future hold for this rising star?
This slide really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, under challenges, Roussanne is a headache for growers, and it's still flying under the radar for many wine drinkers. But on the other side, its potential is immense. It makes world-class, complex wines with a ton of personality. And as more people look for authentic, interesting wines that really express a sense of place, Roussanne is perfectly positioned to meet that demand.
So after this journey from a forgotten grape in the Rhône to a global contender, the question remains, is Roussanne poised to become the next big thing in white wine? With its unique combination of elegance, complexity, and versatility, all the signs point to a very bright future. It's a name you're definitely going to want to remember.